Hello, welcome back and welcome to my daily walk. Right guys, I thought I'd actually do some filming while I'm out and about, and whilst we're not actually going to see anything, we are heading across the border to Wales to talk about what is probably the biggest rail change happening in its history. Stay tuned. Right, so the South Wales Metro is a new transport system transforming the way people travel around the Cardiff capital region. It will focus on 4 key areas: higher frequencies, with a suggestion of at least 4 services an hour, providing a turn up and go experience; integration between trains, buses, light rail and active travel; having an extendable network, which means more flexibility within routes, even if they are extended further; and enabling development and regeneration across the whole of South Wales. The Metro scheme will cover all 10 local authorities, and for the Welsh, please don't take any offence at me butchering your language. Anyway, it will include Cardiff, Newport, Monmouthshire, Torfaen, Caerphilly, Blaenau Gwent, Merthyr Tydfil, where my first YouTube video was actually made, if you want to go check that out, Rhondda Bridgend and Vale of Glamorgan. These local authorities are part of the Cardiff capital region. Many of you will remember Arriva Wales running on the existing rail network within Cardiff, and due to several reasons it led to delays and overcrowded trains. Now the Welsh Government has published the South Wales Metro, which aims to create one unified transport system across Wales. A brochure in 2016 was published which has tons of information on the proposal and splits the plan into 3 key phases. Phase 1, which was meant to happen in 2016, is almost complete and is essentially the upgrading of existing infrastructure with a focus on the Ebb Vale line. This includes a new station, which opened in 2015, a new station at Pye Corner, which opened in 2014, plus a variety of rail and bus station improvements across the region. A bus corridor scheme will also be focused on the A470 between North Cardiff and Rhondda Taff, as well as having active travel and park and ride schemes implemented. Phase 2, where we're at now, extends on until 2023, with a focus on delivering faster and more frequent services, new stations, and enhanced integration and improved rolling stock. There will be enhancements to the Rimini, Corton and Bay lines, as well as the Trenenbert, Abder and Merthyr lines. Holy moly, this is hard to pronounce. And this will enable more frequent and faster services. In addition, the Core Valley lines, which are these ones here, will also have extra stations and conversions of some sections of freight lines. Enhanced intermodal facilities are also proposed, as well as an extension to Abtillery on the spur line. Direct services from Newport to the Ebb Vale Valley line is also proposed, although I'm not too sure of the status of it now. Newport will also integrate its own rapid transit scheme as part of the proposal, and this will mainly focus on rail and bus links connecting key areas such as Celtic Manor and Celtic Springs. The big change is reviewing whether light rail can be used to replace heavy rail. Light rail, you say? Yes, that's correct. That's simply because it's part of the Metro program, which is more than just rail. Let me explain. So heavy rail is basically the trains you and I get most days, and will focus on the longer journeys with wider station spacing, usually connecting the large centres together. So in this case, Newport, Cardiff and Swansea. Light rail on the other hand are essentially trams and are suited for shorter and inter-urban routes with close station stops, and these support medium and larger centres, including moving on to the towns on the Lee Valley lines and in between core centres. These are generally cheaper to build than heavy rail, and offer much more flexibility in the future in terms of capacity and extensions, since they can go up steeper hills, sharper corners and even on roads. There is potential to also have a Brt system, which stands for Bus Rapid Transit, which is essentially dedicated bus routes with their own lanes, and this will connect local corridors between towns together, and in all will be a cheaper and much more flexible option than any of the rail ones. The issue here is that regulation is probably the problem, since Stagecoach and First will want to get their share of the action. But in the end, these three modes should integrate with each other to create one uniform system with one payment card. So that leads us to phase 3, which is planned after 2023 and is all about connectivity and expansion, just like joining up the dots and linking the loose ends together. It includes further rail extensions to the core valley lines, potentially if they are converted to light rail as well, more integration with BRT lines, as well as new interchanges and stations. So, an ambitious plan, but when's it getting done by? Who's paying for all of this? And who owns it? These are just some of the questions you guys might be asking. So, let me explain. It's backed and owned by the Welsh Government. They formed Transport for Wales, who is a government-owned regulatory body, and this essentially is a branch of the Welsh Government, similar to the Department for Transport in the UK context, but for Wales. So the government body Transport for Wales then created a department called Transport for Wales Rail Services, and this is essentially the TFW services you see running around. As part of the Rail Services division, rail operators were given a chance to carry out the infrastructure changes and to run trains, and these are where the private companies came in. So Abellio, Arriva Wales, Ankylos and Ame Ventures, as well as MTR Corporation, who are the ones in Hong Kong, bid for the contract, and Ankylos Ame got the contract. To complicate things further, these private ventures were two separate private companies, and one focused on the infrastructure works while the other focused on the train operations. They are expected to be in partnership and run the line until October 2033, unless they really deliver poor performance. What's also interesting is that Network Rail, who usually maintains the tracks, has transferred the core valley lines at this point to Transport for Wales in March 2020. So the South Wales Metro project can actually make some progress without another third party being involved, although they do still have some relationship. The Metro project is backed by the European Union with funding of 158 million, at least while we were in it. And the UK and Welsh governments have contributed another 125 and 445 million respectively, and the rest is expected to come from fares. And this money will pay for the electrification and upgrade of 172 kilometres of track, all the overhead line equipment and upgrading, as well as the new faster metro trains, which are planned to cost £800 million. And these are procured for the South Wales Metro and the Wales and Border Rail Services. But this is just the beginning, as it's one of 3 metro schemes being proposed across Wales, with the others being North Wales and Swansea. Righto, that's the end of my walk and the end of this video. Thanks so much for stopping by, hope you enjoyed, and as always, stay safe and I'll see you next time.